Good morning, class. A fucking comic book, shall we? We have finished, I believe, 8 pages. First is done. No, that's the first act. We finished the first act in terms of breaking things down with the math and the divisions and hemispheres and Venn diagrams, if you will. We are in chapter 3 of our AracKnight graphic novel series. Our goal is to write 4 issues at 24 pages each, with an around the number of about 6 panels a page. In essence, we are writing 144 versed story, a lyric. We are Homer traveling to all the Greek and Roman kingdoms, minstrels spinning our stories. And the idea is to show that writing is only intimidating when you think of it as, because what we literally do here is we go through a chronological order of comic books, and we just pull ideas from the comic book. Sometimes the comic book itself sucks, and by making fun of the comic book, we get an idea. If we pull one minute idea from each issue, we just keep moving. Our goal for every class, of course, is 2 written pages, 12 panels, dialogue, art, notes that we take, the next pages, the next chapter, the next whatever. And sometimes we have an idea of where we think the story's going, and through inspiration or just the good old-fashioned pumping of cannabis into one's veins and good background music, we find even better inspiration. That is what class is all about. I love writing comic books. We're trying to try to put our own personal stamp on Spider-Man. It's like Dracula, like Batman, like James Bond. You take this long-time leading man, you think, what can I bring to this story to make it fresh? How do I have fun with the old villains? How do I modernize them or fantasize them? I feel like we've done a good job here. Our first 2 graphic novels are now on sale. The first one's in the store. Second one's on the current Kickstarter. And we're working on chapter 3 here. It's going to have a really cool Slave, Gwen, and Frozen Green Goblin cover. And we even have the chapter 4 cover already in the works. It's going to have Medusa and Black Bolt, because Medusa made an appearance in Amazing Spider-Man 62, for all you trivia people that are following us along. As always, we do at least 2 issues of Spider-Man for homework, but always read a couple of ahead. In case we don't find what we need in those 2 issues, we keep pulling and pulling until our goal is finished for each class. So far, we are 8 pages in, a 1-act in, where we've done a layout of the city. We've done a bunch of Dr. O's minions capturing the lizard, lurking through the sewers, probably got his hands on that super soldier serum vial that Dr. Parker threw down the sewers so many years ago when he was murdered by the chameleon. Spider-Man has gotten his vengeance, but now he has become wrapped up in something bigger. And now he's about to maybe, I'm not sure if we'll do that yet in this scene. When we left off, Spider-Man used whatever clues he learned about the Sinister Six and Dr. O from his parents' files. And now we see that Dr. O is blackmailing the mayor, Norman Osborn, by showing him the footage of his attempted executions of the architects of Empire City. So we have the Sinister Six. We've put their origins, weaved it into the inner workings, the infrastructure of this high-tech New York City now called Empire City, which is its own city-state now because the rest of the country has fallen into the Civil War many years ago. It is still recovering. It's mostly like a wasteland we inquire about out there. And how Dr. O isn't necessarily a full-on bad guy. He's going after a bad guy. So now this happens in front of Peter Parker while he's just kind of sitting there chilling with his camera. So him and Norman Osborn had a bit of a face-off. We're saving that for later on. But Peter knows Norman Osborn's dirty secret. Norman kind of lets him go, but realizes now Peter Parker's going to be a problem. But he's got bigger fish to fry. Now what we showed here is Peter, the last one we did, page 7 and 8, we showed Peter going to the docks. When we last showed Dr. O, he has threatened Norman Osborn. When we did page 7, they tried to stop the nanobot. All the nanobots inside that the Dr. O had planted inside Oscorp Tower self-destructed. Little mini explosions. Peter attempts to back out of the room. Norman stalks after him. You know, son, it would be easy for me to just tell you that whatever you just witnessed was a collection of altered images, products of the mysterious machinations of the departed Mr. Beck. But I think we both know better. I have a son your age, who will one day inherit these halls, and I would hope that I've instilled on him the type of leadership and calculations that would go into making the hard decisions. So Peter says, such as the elimination of your underlings? These men were pure evil. They agreed to help me create Empire City, but they weren't in it for the purposes of preservation. So I guess you're the only one doing charity work. Profit. Still the same old story. Before Peter could leave, Norman grabs his camera. A story which unfortunately will have to stay here. Dr. O didn't do you any favors allowing you in on this chat. Peter says, I always seem to find myself in these conundrums. However, my camera was off during the festivities, and my boss is going to want something for our time. I think you have bigger fish to fry than me right now. So Peter's saying, look, you and me are going to have we're probably going to have a dance sooner or later. You got a big fucking crazy scientist underneath the city fucking with you, man. Calling you a murderer and backing it up with the evidence. Slightly pulling the camera back out of Norman's now annoyed but slightly worrisome clutches, Peter backs into the elevator and exits the scene. Good luck, Your Honor. We see from Peter's POV as Norman gets smaller in the distance as the elevator descends. Norman glares at Peter. The night sky above him reflects off his glare, almost giving him a goblin-like grin. As page 8, as Peter gets to the entrance of Oscorp Tower, we see Uncle Ben waiting outside at the base of their Stingray. Ben is reading a paper while Peter gives him a look. You look like you've seen a ghost, kid. I have. 6 of them. We need to make a stop back at the lab. We cut to nighttime over the docks and edge of canals at the base of Empire City. What almost looks like an infinity waterfall at the edge of the city folds and falls into the moonlight, as we see the night isn't currently being interrupted. Peter narrates the scene. I couldn't find anything on the other architects in my parents' files, but there was just enough on Dr. O, if not an accurate name, at least an alias or code. Dr. Octopussy. Given the name due to the nature of his survival. He was believed to have been trapped and buried under the sea in a malfunction of testing the initial hover tech and flotation levels of what would become Empire City's infrastructure, working with high levels of uranium and plutonium that was believed to have sunk with him. But may in essence have kept him alive or cursed him to a living death. All I found in my parents' archives were sketches of a lower body harness. Were crude sketches of a lower body harness. We see Spider-Man swing into the scene, landing on a perch just overlooking the edge of the bay. The moonlight hits the water and creates a shadow effect, which in essence reflects off the moon, almost showing a bat signal, spider signal, in the moon sort of Batman classic effect. If Dr. Octopussy was still alive, whatever machinations were being used to sustain him may also constrict him to his final resting place. So if he was doomed to an underwater prison, his nanobots would be his only means of surveillance. But he would still need the manpower to plant the seeds, which leads me to a hunch. We cut to Spider-Man waiting in a still Zen-like pose, hanging upside down as he waits to see if his hunch is correct. Caption across the panel reads, several hours later. We see a crew of Dr. O's purple-clad minions show up at the dock. They are rolling a large body-sized tank, which we know is holding the lizard. We see the corner of Spider-Man's head as he watches still and stalking. I can understand a man's need for vengeance, which is why I'm not so quick to judge the Doctor, and especially after staring into the eyes of Norman Osborn. But whatever showdown these two intend to have, it seems like all of Empire City will be caught in the crosshairs. After taking out Earth, we see one of the men hit a button on his control panel. We see the small slip ship, the same one the Chameleon took in the previous chapter, the secret little lowering ramp to Dr. O's secret hideout. After taking out the Chameleon, I hope to have buried the demons of my parents' past. But they were a part of something much bigger than my grudge, and I'm compelled to see this through. We see one of the minions look around as the body tank is loaded onto the slip ship, and the minions all go into the water with it. As Peter says, with great power, there must also come. As they submerge, we see Spider-Man diving in after them, as effects of the dive and splash. With great power, there must also come great lung capacity. So now brings us to page 9 and 10, the goal of today's class. We have to decide if we're just going to do a simple Spider-Man's going to follow them and see what's going on, and maybe he gets attacked, or maybe Dr. O Maybe Dr. O wants to talk to him. Or maybe Dr. O will send a nanobot in to threaten him. This is where we are in our story now. Do we want to, like, we're doing a choose your own adventure. We're going to mine this next comic book to see if it helps us in our direction. So right here we have Spider-Man has just dove in after the minions. They're taking the lizard's body down to Dr. O. We have to decide whether or not Spider-Man's going to foil the plan. He's just going to follow them. He's going to follow them and attack. He's going to follow them and get attacked. There's a lot of different ways we can go right now as writers. You may choose to go your way. Apparently, again, we're doing this as a guide, as a base. You don't have to do it my way. I'm just showing you how I would do it. And right now, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do until we get into the comic book. You know, part of the fun of writing is when you have this idea of where you think the story's going to go, but it doesn't fucking go there. Spider-Man will swim down and stalk Dr. O's men. He will either get caught and nearly killed, or he will peer in and get Dr. O's plan. We won't know until the next class. All right. This is what we're working on right now. So we don't have that many notes left. So again, if we get some cool little notes, Spider-Man can be booby-trapped and sucked underwater where he would make a water helmet with his webs. And with them ignoring the ransom, but tripling up the security, left the rest of the city vulnerable, and so he was able... Okay, well, he already revealed that. He plans to destroy the city a la Final Fantasy VII. All right. So what does... If Dr. O has been able to infiltrate Oscorp Tower, he's been able to shoot all those images across the sky. We've established this in our first two books. This man obviously has some money. He's got an underwater lair, an underwater lab. It could all be based on just his genius. But he's also got to be paying these fucking minions with some money here. We need to reveal here. So what I'm thinking is, let's have Spider-Man peek in. You know, pop in on the Doctor. He could be crawling around. He could make a web helmet. And the idea is he tries to follow them in. He follows them in. Maybe he gets sucked into a fucking... Or maybe he gets attacked by a fucking shark. Or maybe there's a nanobot watching him. Let's mine. Let's do some fucking mining. First, let's go through the rest of our notes here. Get revenge, inject Norman with the version of the serum. Maybe we'll save that. Booby trap, sucked underwater, make a web helmet. We're doing that right now. If you ever watched Final Fantasy VII or played the video game, there's a scene where the commandant, whatever, the fucking lead dictator guy, he shuts the repulsor lifts off a certain section of the city, and the entire fucking city falls. So we can have Dr. O. Dr. O could be planning to drop the city. Could be planning, drop the city. First, he wants to drain it of all its resources. Because again, if Empire City is one of the last remaining great cities, maybe he wants it to be evacuated so he can take it over. Maybe he wants to sink it so he can fucking live in it. Maybe he wants to sink Empire City so that he could live in it. That's not a knife. That's a knife. Right. Set up our pages. So this really comes about what we want to do. Spider-Man's just jumped into the water. His hunch was correct. He's following the master planner. The purple-clad minions. And Spider-Man's is almost like a James Bond. We're doing a Thunderball here. We see Spider-Man keeping his distance while swimming after the minions. As the body is floating, is gliding with the slip ship towards Dr. O's underwater lair. Very like the underwater lair. All right. Peter narrates again. So I know what I want to do here, sir. Right now, I think we're going with, and it might change. It might change till he gets into he gets into a problem with them. Instinct and immaturity. Instinct and immaturity tells me to take out the minions. Instinct and immaturity tells me to take out the minions and save the package. Providing some frustration in their war of egos. In this war of egos. But Uncle Ben's voice preaches patience. Instinct and immaturity tells me to take out the minions and save the package, providing some frustration in this war of egos. I guess egos is no. But Uncle Ben's voice preaches patience and pursuit. But Uncle Ben's voice preaches patience and pursuit. For now, I'm just one of the fish. So for now, I'm just one of the fish. Peter looks on in awe as he sees the outside of Dr. O's underwater lair. We see it is a makeshift, mutated structure that glows from radiation. Radiation bursts that flow from the sections of what was once an office and laboratory that was destroyed and collapsed on Dr. O. Essentially, the lair looks like an old scientific lab was sunk to make an artificial coral reef. You can see upgrades were made with all of the plutonium and uranium that the doctor has in his abundance. So it is an aquarium that formed from the ruins of a destroyed lab of an evil genius. Now, again, once we're ready to send the script, we'll do a class for that. Once we're ready to send the script to the penciler, right now my guy's finishing Faro. He's fucking taking too goddamn long, but he's almost done. He's working on the last 6 pages. Once he's done with the last 6 pages, I'm moving him on to AracKnight Chapter 1, and I'll be going to Brazil and the Philippines this year to recruit some new talent to draw the other issues. Because I can't just wait for him to do one. I want to have a couple simultaneously going. So we can evolve these textbooks into comic books. You can't just write all this. You have to send. Sometimes you'll develop a relationship with your penciler, and he'll say, "Let me do something. I have an idea." But you don't just want to send blind scripts because you like to show references because you can't put it always on them. Sometimes a great penciler will surprise you with their imagination, their creative flow, but you have to lean them somewhere. You can't just say Atlantis and say, "Give me Atlantis." They're going to say, "What's Atlantis look like?" You have to have your vision of what you want your world to look like, and then these pencilers become your instruments of destruction. So we don't just want this to look like some generic underwater lair. That's boring. They had this in Amazing Spider-Man 31, 32, 33. He had the underwater lair. I don't want this to be just his underwater lair. This has to be his prison. He is trapped here. We're going to find out right now that he's fucking trapped here. Whether he tells Peter or Peter spies on him, whatever the fuck. You know, Peter can get inside and spy on him and get caught. He can get attacked by some fucking robots. We can go a lot of different ways here. Peter looks on in awe as he sees the outside of Dr. O's underwater lair. We see it as a makeshift mutated structure that glows from radiation bursts that flow from the sections of what was once an office and laboratory that was destroyed and collapsed on Dr. O. The center of the lair looks like an office scientific lab that was sunk to make an artificial coral reef. That was sunk. You can see upgrades were made with all the plutonium and uranium that Dr. O has in his abundance. So it is an aquarium that was formed from the ruins of a destroyed lab of an evil genius. And Peter could say all of this. As a matter of fact, this is the script. All right. Where is it? The fuck happened here? Okay. Let's try this again. There we go. Glows from radiation bursts. Like they were destroyed and collapsed. As I got closer, to the main stage, so much started occurring to me. So much started coming clear. Dr. Rowe was biding his time. Hidden and or trapped. Dr. Rowe was biding his time. For years, he'd taken what was supposed to be his tomb. Dr. Rowe was biding his time. For years, he'd taken what was supposed to be his tomb and turned it into his new lab. No doubt he was financing the upgrades and construction. No doubt he was financing the upgrades and construction, as well as this band of band of minions. No doubt he was financing the upgrades and construction, as well as this band of minions from selling cakes of whatever was glowing. From selling cakes of whatever was glowing in those windows. And stealing. Or selling. Alright. As I got closer to the main stage, so much started coming clear. Dr. O was biding his time. For years, he'd taken what was supposed to be his tomb and turned it into his lab. No doubt he was financing the upgrades and construction, as well as this band of minions, from selling cakes of whatever was glowing in those windows and stealing the rest. And stealing the rest from the sewers. Sewers and landfills. From selling cakes of whatever was glowing in those windows and stealing the rest from the sewers and landfills. As I got closer to the main stage, so much started coming clear. Dr. Rowe was biding his time. For years, he'd taken what was supposed to be his tomb and turned it into his new lab. No doubt he was financing the upgrades and constructions. No doubt he was financing the upgrades and construction, as well as this band of minions, from selling cakes of whatever was glowing in those windows and stealing the rest from the sewers and landfills. You have to give the man credit. Even if he is maniacal. You have to give him credit, even if he is batshit. Stealing the rest from the sewers and landfills. You have to give the man credit, even if he is batshit. Now that he's seen, even if he is batshit. I like leaving that one there. Spider-Man attaches himself to the closest wall of the structure, blending in with the school of fish, masking him from the minions. He sees the minions loading the body, loading the slip ship with the body into an opening in the structure. SFX of the airlock's opening. I like where we're going. We're underwater, man. We are James fucking Bond. Thunderbolt, baby. Thunderbolt. So now that the good doctor has seen Oscorp So now that the good doctor has seen Oscorp's newest toy, he finally has what he needs. So now that the good doctor has seen Oscorp's newest toy, he finally has what he needs to exit. He finally has what he needs to exit the Empire. So who am I? So who am I to stand in his way? So now that the good doctor has seen Oscorp's newest toy, he finally has what he needs to exit the Empire. So who am I to stand in his way? I like that. So Peter's asking, what am I doing down here? Now we have to get Peter and Dr. O involved. That's what we're setting up now. We know the mayor does not like Peter now. Peter just kind of fucking yanked his camera and said, dude, I got to show something to my boss. I didn't take any fucking pictures. You got my word. And to be honest with you, want to get into it with me right now? You got a fucking evil genius looking to show the world that you're a goddamn murderer. So I'm going to back the fuck off and go down the elevator. So now that Peter has gotten into it with Norman Osborn, we got to get Peter into it with Dr. O. We got to decide if we're going to do this here, if Peter's going to follow in, or Peter's just going to watch and uncover Dr. O's plan. Because we just set it up with, so now that the good doctor has seen Oscorp's newest toy, he finally has what he needs to exit the Empire. So who am I to stand in his way? I'm thinking Peter's just going to peer in now. He's got to slip up. They got to send someone after him. Or he's got to go down there and stop. Or he sees it, he gets away. He has a quick little fucking sit down with Uncle Ben. And then says, I need fucking Norman Osborn. He can say, look, Mr. Mayor, this motherfucker is going to drop the city. He's going to drop the fucking city. And Norman could say, all right, so what do you want to do? We could do that. Now we got to do some mining because now we've hit a little bit of a standstill here. I got to figure out what's going to happen here now. We get into it with Spider-Man and Dr. O. We're in chapter 3 here. Do we have a fight scene here? Do we reveal Dr. O's fucking lower body harness? Do we show the secret here? All right, let's see what we got. Let us do the mining. All right. We last left off. Spider-Man was fighting the twin vultures. The vulture went and got his old partner. Spider-Man beat the shit out of the old partner. The problem is Spider-Man got his arm fucked up. In the fight, the vulture still lives. What will we injured? J. Jonah Jameson's flipping out. The battle of the fucking century. Where the hell's Peter Parker? Peter Parker, unfortunately, is fighting right now, getting his ass kicked. Get me with some more photographers. We have the vulture diving down the battle of the century. Spider-Man is down. He's already taken out one, but he's got another vulture to deal with. Vulture's fucking him up. Now, we did show Adrian Toomes. We showed one of his harnesses sucking him into the sky. We didn't show his... showed his attempted execution on that video montage package that the doctor was showing. We're going to save Adrian for a later story. Maybe he'll pop up in this scene here on the video conference. Maybe we'll have Spider-Man popping on a video conference. But if Spider-Man is outside, he can't fucking hear. Or he could pull something off the old utility belt. I'm not exactly a tourist. Okay, so Spider-Man and the Vulture are going to start kicking some fucking chimneys. They take it to the fucking sky. He ducks down, flips down. They're trying to film it. They're trying to get a picture. Get punched. All the fucking nerve damage. Do we want to have a fight scene underwater here? Have a fight scene. The problem is if we show a fight scene underwater or a robot going after Spider-Man, the Dr. O knows Spider-Man knows, and that might create a problem. Unless we want a problem. We got to keep going at this point in the story. All right. Finding his, finding his legs, shooting here. They were the lucky ones. This is really just a with J. Jonah Jameson flipping out. Can't get good pictures. Robbie Robinson, they shouldn't be in. This is all about property damage. He's holding up. Vulture gets a swipe. Spider-Man flips over J. Jonah Jameson, sprints and screws him up. Good old Robbie Robinson. Mary Jane is showing off some ugly fucking hairdo. I hated this. I remember reading this. Why? Why? Why do chicks cut their fucking short? I fucking hate it. I hate that Moore fucking did it. Gwen Stacy is looking hot in the cross colors fucking uniform. We got Commissioner Stacy here. Peter was trying to help. She tells him it's all good. Take up with Peter. So now we can do more. We can have some fun with the Commissioner Stacy character, which is our Commissioner Gordon. First, tell me what's wrong with Northern Osborn, dear. I wonder why I hadn't seen him at the club lately. Nothing serious, I hope. I don't know, Dad. Harry thinks it might be a nervous breakdown due to overwork. He's been acting very... Of course, they reveal later on that Gwen and Norman had an affair. We can bring that into our story. We could bring that in. We got Gwen Stacy here. We got Betty Brant. Ned, he's there, but he's watching the fight. You almost wish that she did know sometimes. Maybe she would give Peter some shit. I like when they reveal that him and Gwen never banged. In my universe, they bang. In this fucking comic book story, he's getting laid. But him and the Vulture fight, it's really not getting a lot out of this issue because this is just a fucking brawling issue. This entire issue is trying to fight each other. Is thing out with his one last shot and then passes out. And I remember they were going to unmask him, but what I like here is that Commissioner Stacy, says, no, his mask is his mark of honor. Don't do that, What if, okay. What we get out of this issue is that Spider-Man was hurting because he fought two vultures, but then he fought the last vulture basically almost to the death. He gets in one last good nerve shot, which we kind of use. Peter Parker as a kid gets in a good shot on the chameleon. The chameleon doesn't kill him. So we kind of used that. However, we could have Spider-Man getting his ass kicked right now. And then when he gets out of the water, he's like unconscious. And the cops could grab him. We could do that. Which could lead to basically them trying to unmask him. And then Commissioner Stacy's like, no, look. Whoever he is, I'm not interested. Or Norman Osborn. What we could do here, okay. What are we going to do here? We could take this story in a lot of different places. All right, so what are we going to do here? Let's see. Because we can get Spider-Man locked up right now. We could take a different direction here. He's watching, so who am I to stand in his way? As the minions all enter, we see Spider-Man try to shoot a web at the closing airlock. But his web isn't as effective underwater. Doesn't close the lock. Isn't able to prevent the lock from closing. SFX of the web shooting and gummying up in the water, as well as the airlock closing. I'm thinking maybe Spider-Man should get his ass kicked here. He should get his ass kicked here. Either by robots, minions, a group of them. Because I like the idea of when he comes out of the water, he should just fall unconscious, and instead of Uncle Ben making it, the cops do. All right. Here we go. Peter say, mental note, Uncle Ben. Mental note for Uncle Ben. Remember to work on upgrading on evolving web shooters for underwater combat. Should I ever go searching for the Horn of Atlantis? Mental note for Uncle Ben. Remember to work on evolving web shooters for underwater combat. For underwater combat and surveillance. Should I ever go searching for the Horn of Atlantis? Second mental note. Create surveillance. Create surveillance. Second mental note, create surveillance bugs for Belt. Or should he have them? He was waiting there at the fucking dock, so yeah. So let's say the combat thing he needs. Mental note for Uncle Ben. Remember to work on evolving web shooters for underwater combat and surveillance. Should I ever go searching for the Horn of Atlantis? It's a little fucking Easter egg there for our Captain America Indiana Jones team up. Mental note for Uncle Ben. Remember to work on evolving web shooters. Upgrading. Not evolving. I don't think that's the right word. Upgrading. Remember to work on upgrading web shooters for underwater combat and surveillance. Should I ever go searching for the Horn of Atlantis? For now, looks like it's going to be an outside job. We see Spider-Man webbing up and constructing an underwater helmet. SFX of the web construction. Whatever was in my veins was transferred by a radioactive spider. Whatever was in my veins was transferred by a radioactive spider. But it took what? We see Spider-Man webbing up, constructing an underwater helmet. S effects of the web construction. Whatever was in my veins was transferred by a radioactive spider. But it took several documented hours in a crusty old lab to master the art of construction. What? The art of. Whatever was in my veins was transferred by a radioactive spider. But it took several documented hours in a crusty old lab to truly master the wonders of the web. Whatever was in my veins was transferred by a radioactive spider. But it took several documented hours in a crusty old lab to master the wonders of the web. Yeah, I like that. It's cute. You have something there while he's putting together his helmet. Crawling across the wall with his scuba helmet secured. We see Spider-Man make his way. Well, let's put that in panel 7. Give me one more quick panel where he pulls out a surveillance device. Close up on Spider-Man's utility belt shows him hit and trigger, press and trigger a sonar device. Where he attempts to listen in on the Doctor and his minions. Good. Crawling across the wall with his scuba belt secured, we see Spider-Man make his way to a central spot close to a window into the Doctor's lab and aquarium. Cool. All right. Close up on Spider-Man's utility belt shows him press and trigger a sonar device where he attempts to listen in on the Doctor and his minions. S effects of the muffled sound coming from. S effects of the muffled sound coming from the belt and device. All right. Okay, so what is Peter going to say? Do we even need a sound here? No, because we want a sound of him. We want him trying to find the sounds. He wouldn't say anything here. Crawling across the wall with his scuba helmet secured, we see Spider-Man make his way to a central spot close to a window into the Doctor's lab and aquarium. He listens in, okay. Spider-Man listens in. As the sound signal gets stronger. We hear them over. We hear the Doctor. So now Dr. O can mention Spider-Man here. Or he can mention not Spider-Man, he can mention whatever was in my veins was transferred by a radioactive spark. We did that already. That's okay. Mental note for Uncle Ben. Remember to work on upgrading web shooters for underwater combat and surveillance. Should ever go searching for the Horn of Atlantis. But for now, looks like it's going to be an outside job. Whatever was in my veins was transferred to Spider, but it took several documented hours in a crusty old lab to master the wonders of the web. Was it wonders of the web to become a master at webcraft? I like that better. Become a master of webcraft. Yeah. It took several documented hours in a crusty old lab to become a master of webcraft. Because at some point he could meet another Spider-Man that says, "You ain't no master, boy. You a prince." What do we want here in this conversation? We don't want to be too silly that he's going to reveal everything. It has to be subtle, but again, Dr. O doesn't know that anybody's watching. Unless Spider-Man triggers an alarm. We shouldn't have him just get away. I feel like Spider-Man should get almost killed here. Should barely get away, and when he does get away, the cops grab him. Somebody could try and take his mask off and get electrocuted like in The Dark Knight. We hear Doctor and his minions. Are you able to secure the body? No, we know that. That's a stupid question. He's still alive. Yes, Doctor. Tranquilizers. But the tranquilizers will wear off. But the tranquilizers? That how you spell tranquilizers? Guess not. Two L's. But the tranquilizers will. The tranquilizer will wear off. But the tranquilizer will wear off once we kill. Once we kill the freeze. Yes, Doctor. But the tranquilizer will wear off once we kill the freeze. Once we cut off the freezer. Yes, Doctor. But the tranquilizer will wear off once we cut off the freezer. Will wear off goddamn bugs. But the tranquilizer will wear off once we cut off the freeze. Say cut off the freeze. Once we cut off the freeze. Very well. You gentlemen may go. I see. I like this. You know what we're gonna do here? Oh, you know what we're gonna fucking do? We're gonna have some fucking fun here. Is he still alive? Yes, Doctor. But the tranquilizer will wear off once we cut off the freeze. Very well. You gentlemen may go. You gentlemen may retire for the evening. Yes, Doctor. But the tranquilizer will wear off once we cut off the freeze. Very well. You gentlemen may retire for the evening. But, and he'll say, go. Go. I like that very Ernst Stavro Blofeld. But Doc, go. And we get to page 10. I like it. I love it. Dr. O. We're going to have Dr. O. We need to show off Dr. O. Can't just be the guy in a fucking chair. And maybe he's bored, he's a little pissed off. On this page, page 10, we're going to have Dr. O beat the shit out of the lizard. We're finally going to see Dr. O's arms. Let's have some fucking fun here. Let's just not keep doing the sinister shit and then Spider-Man fights a fucking robot and some minions. Fuck the minions. Spider-Man's going to watch Dr. O beat the shit out of the lizard. He's going to try and escape, and they can have some guns or some fucking spider slayers or some nanobots like fucking shoot at him. Spider-Man gets shot, get fucked up. Yeah. What we're going to lay out here in page 10, we're going to do this, put it in our notes now here. Dr. O is going to beat the shit out of the lizard to test himself out. Because we need to show him off. Spider-Man can watch, observe, and even go to take a picture, which will trigger the alarm. And Spider-Man will either get shot or attacked by minions when trying to escape. He will get fucked up and then caught by the cops. He will eventually be released by Commissioner Stacy once he reveals the doctor's plan. I love writing comic books, man. Let's move as he notes. To the bottom of page 11. All right. Set up page 10. I love writing some comic books on a Friday morning. And we gotta play with the doggy. All right. See, while I'm doing all this silent busy work, this is when you could be taking your own notes, looking ahead, saying, you know what, I don't like where he's going in the story, I'd rather go here. We're making comic books just like a man should be. Let's do this shit. All right, let's do some mining first. See, quickly take off his mask while we have the chance. We can finally see who he is. No, stay back. We haven't the right. Unmask him. Who is he? We can find it out at last. The man's hurt. Where's that blasted ambulance? So the idea is Spider-Man fought the Vulture, got on one last good shot on his nerve endings, made him have to escape. Right now, it's Gwen and Commissioner Stacy protecting Spider-Man. My newspaper's been crusade to learn that wall crawler for years, and now we can't find out. So what's stopping us? A little thing called the law. We're not positive the specific charges against him are, and even a helpless masked man has his rights. Rights at a time like this? Are there any bodies underneath? Oh, she's afraid Peter Parker's under there. Peter Parker can take care of himself. We don't want. Maybe we're not involving just yet. Everyone, him. Let's see about the Vulture to get away. Yeah, but who cares? You love J. Jonah Jameson. We're looking to put Spider-Man in prison. I agree, Miss J. We should unmask him. We may never get another chance. Such a perfect chance. I think the commissioner's decision was a wise one, Mr. Nelson. So long as he's kept under heavy guard. As for getting out of this issue, we need to get Commissioner Stacy and Spider-Man together. So in order to do that, Spider-Man watches on. Maybe we get a tease here. Spider-Man watches on. Spider-Man tries to get a better view as he observes Dr. O allowing the freezing as he observes Dr. O turning off the freezing suit on the Lizard. Spider-Man tries to get a bit of view as he observes Dr. O turning off the freezing suit on the Lizard. SFX of the suit cooling down. No, turning off. Shutting down. The doctor chair turning toward the awakening body. Drew. You are quite the hidden treasure, my friend. You are quite the hidden treasure, my friend. I have been looking for Dr. Parker's formula. Spider-Man tries to get a better view as he observes Dr. O turning off the freezing suit on the Lizard. SFX of the suit shutting down as the doctor's chair turning towards the awakening body. Moving towards. You are quite the hidden treasure, my friend. I've been looking for Dr. Parker's formula for too many years. You are quite the hidden treasure, my friend. I have been looking for Dr. Parker's formula for too many years. And now just maintaining you. And now just maintaining you and extracting that formula. will cost me. You are quite the hidden treasure, my friend. I've been looking for Dr. Parker's formula for too many years, and now just maintaining you and extracting that formula will cost me more than I had planned. Will cost me more than I had budgeted. You truly are, but I can imagine you are a worthy variable. You are quite the hidden treasure, my friend. I've been looking for Dr. Parker's formula for too many years, and now just maintaining you and extracting that formula will cost me more than I had budgeted. But I can imagine you are a worthy variable. Well, I can imagine you are a worthy variable. You have bought the mayor some valuable time. You are quite the hidden treasure, my friend. I've been looking for Dr. Parker's formula for too many years. Too many cycles. I like cycles. I've been looking for Dr. Parker's formula for too many cycles, and now just maintaining you and extracting that formula will cost me more than I had budgeted. But I can imagine you are a worthy variable, and you have bought the mayor some valuable time. I have something here. Okay. We see the lizard begin to tear through the suit. SFX of the suit tearing and ripping, as well as a monstrous reptilian growl coming from the tearing suit. Reptilian. All right. That's it. Awaken, my sweet monster. My reunion with the mayor. SFX of the suit tearing and ripping, as well as a monstrous reptilian growl coming from the tearing suit. That's it. Awaken, my sweet monster. My reunion with the mayor has left me what? My reunion with the mayor has left me rabid and restless. So attack me if you will. We close up on Spiderman as he pulls a mini camera from his utility belt. We hear the mechanisms from Dr. O's converting chair in Peter's Spider-Man's radio. So attack me if you will. So we have Dr. Rose taunting the lizard. He is taunting him. The same laboratory that became my executioner. The same laboratory that became my executioner soon became my prisoner. The same laboratory that became my executioner. The same office that became my prison. Through my superior intellect and will to survive, I have turned it all into my weapon. The same laboratory that became my executioner, the same office that became my prison, through my superior intellect and will to survive, I have turned it all into my weapon. Close-up shot of Peter, of Spider-Man, snapping a picture. We continue to hear, we hear the mechanisms from Peter's, SFX of the chair. Trans. So we're doing our own little take on Dr. Not the guy wearing a harness with the extra arms, because that's been done a billion times. We're doing it as more like he's Dr. Loveless and he's got like this chair and the chair transforms. So it's almost like Professor Xavier's chair, but his chair transforms into like fucking tentacles, like a walking fucking like monster kind of spider. So he's more, that's why we're not calling him Dr. Octopus, calling him Dr. O. Close-up shot of Spider-Man snapping a picture. The snapping triggers a nanobot alarm. SFX of the pic, snapping, and nanobot alarms. I don't need lines there. Okay. Snapping triggers a nanobot alarm. All right, so that's a little picture. Close up on Spider-Man pressing his gadgets back into place in a hurry. We hear several nanobots and miniguns loading and being pushed into position. Close up on Spider-Man pressing his gadgets back into place in a hurry. We hear several nanobots and miniguns loading and being pushed into position. SFX of the guns and nanobots. Ready to open fire. First let Dr. O say. We'll hear Dr. O. Intruder! Intruder alert! We see a shot of Spider-Man using all of his might and strength to push off from the wall of the lair and spring himself upwards towards the surface. We see several guns and nanobots firing on him, while we see some minions emerging from the airlock. Slowed down by the water, an abundance of lasers, Spider-Man is shot up several times. Even his scuba mask. Okay, yeah. I like this actually better. The power of the push-off severs his scuba mask as we see him shooting frantically the surface. See, we're just getting on a writing thing, man. See, but watching here, and seeing him getting fucked up, and Commissioner Stacy looking to save him, gave me this idea. Instead of just having, I was going to have Spider-Man get in there, get sucked into the airlock, and then beaten up by Dr. Octopus. Instead, we save that fight. We don't waste it, but we have Dr. Octopus just about to fuck the lizard up because he got pissed off because he saw the mayor. Mayor got him all pissy. He wants to beat up on the lizard, show off his strength. Just as he's about to do it, Spider-Man fucking takes a picture because he wants to catch the doctor. Some fucking shit goes down. Okay. We see a shot of Spider-Man using all of his might and strength to push off from the wall of the lair and spring himself upwards towards the surface. The power of the push-off severs his scuba mask as we see him shooting frantically for the surface. We see several guns and nanobots firing on him while we see some minions emerging from the airlock. SFX of all shooting and underwater swishing and chaos. Slowed down by the water and abundance of lasers, Spider-Man is shot up several times. The lasers cutting through his uniform, his suit, and nearly slicing him up. Spider-Man groans in agony and barely escapes. Nice. SFX of the lasers shooting and cutting at Spider-Man. So we got to get him beat up. And I like that. And I like how we crafted it together. The idea is we had this idea. We didn't like it felt too tropey, too common. Okay, I'm going to sneak in. He's going to reveal his whole fucking plan. Again, we have to show Peter fucking up. Maybe being too impatient, pulling out the camera too early, Should have observed more. He didn't figure that they would catch him. Thought he was being slick. He gets caught. He gets fucking shot up. He doesn't get captured, but he gets caught. And when he gets to the surface, that'll lead us into the next class. When we do pages 11 and 12, we get to the halfway point where he's going to get picked up by the cops. Dr. Rosen beat the shit out of the lizard to test himself out. Spider-Man can deserve, go to take a picture, set off the alarm. He'll get fucked up. Here we go. Boom. He will get fucked up and then caught by the cops. He will eventually be released by Commissioner Stacy once he reveals the doctor's plan. Commissioner Stacy will have to sneak him out. So then we get a good scene between Peter and Commissioner Stacy where we get some really cool detective shit. And I don't know if people reveal himself here or Commissioner Stacy will guess. We can have our Batman moment where, Batman, where fucking Commissioner Stacy and, it was Commissioner Gordon where he pretends to beat the shit out of him so he can escape. He'll get fucked up, then caught by the cops. He will eventually be released by Commissioner Stacy once he reveals the doctor's plan. Commissioner Stacy will have to sneak him out because perhaps the mayor will want a piece of him. We'll get to that. I don't think Osborn knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man right now. Dr. O wouldn't give him that. He hates the mayor. Now, Dr. O knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. What I like here is we're already leading ourselves to the next class where Peter's going to get fucked up and shot up. He's going to get to the surface when he gets to the surface. So we're setting up the next class already, which I always love to do. And that will be next class. I don't think we need dialogue. Do we want dialogue here? We're going to finish this issue, maybe get some dialogue here. Don't think we need it. We got some good action. We can really show him getting fucking shot up, Be bold. Always underline your SFX so that your letterer knows to do the cacophony. Never want to leave out the cacophony. That's it, kids. Let's finish this issue. We got the idea by reading this. Man stuck in prison. Commissioner Stacy. What can we get for the next issue? Remember, nothing more momentous than a date with another girl. What's that? No, Gwen. You better have dinner without me. What was that funny noise you made, Dad? I read you, Daddy mine, but if you change your mind, I'm baking the most deliciously. This prison break. What if there's a prison break? What if Dr. O causes a prison break to get at Peter? Or some prisoners will come in to try and kill Peter. All right, so we're done. We're done. We got our pages. Let's add to the notes before we close out, because we're still getting some notes ideas here. Dr. O knows Peter is Spider-Man, so he can have some of his minions go into the police station dressed as cops to kill Peter. Commissioner Stacy can have his moment helping Spider-Man escape. while he is in restraints. So I like this. Dr. O can send minions here, you know what I mean? There's a fucking prison break. Kill the captain. Everyone wants you answer the brass buttons. How about the brass buttons we had to put to sleep? I told you our best bet was through the infirmary. So there's either going to be a prison break that the doctor's going to trigger. We could put Peter in fucking prison. Again, we go through the comic books to get some cool ideas. She's a hostage. Of course, she's got to sit there and save the commissioner. That busted fucking arm, but he loves it. He says, look, I'll be the fucking... You got it all wrong. I want to join you guys. Help. We're going to be in here for that crummy punk. Let's get him while he's still weak. He stood there and took it. See, Spider-Man beats up on the fucking prisoners. He saves Commissioner Stacy. Captain Stacy. But Commissioner Stacy in our fucking story. Meanwhile, at the very moment, a dejected Harry Oswald continues the search for his missing father. I don't know where else to look. Say, boy, where's that no-good roommate of yours? Disappeared. We're going to bring Norman to come back and fuck some shit up. He's got that ugly-ass fucking haircut. I hate looking at Mary Jane with a stupid haircut. She run into Norman? Oh, shit. If only I knew what made Dad act so strange. I've never seen him so angry, so cold. He seemed to get worse every time the Green Goblin or Spider-Man was mentioned. Mary Jane got the ugly hair. Get the riot guns. We got a break. Follow me. I can get you by breaking the bar with your hands. Spider-Man's fucking with them. He's got to get out. He's got to save George Stacy. Can we use this? Could we use this? Because again, we got Spider-Man either going to prison, the infirmary. Is the commissioner there? You know, are the cops there? It shouldn't be Uncle Ben should not save Peter on this one. Because Peter kind of let Ben off do his thing. He was there for hours. He was called May. Well, fuck. Never liked May. I'm not still likes dark. He smashes some heads. We may want to go with a good old-fashioned prison break scene. Let's figure out what we want to do. We're leaving this particular class. We're leaving. Peter went to escape from the underwater lair. He gets shot up like fucking crazy with the fucking legs. You know, his suit could be all fucking torn up, but his mask is still on. Move, Captain. Mighty cooperative of you. I'm grateful to you, Spider-Man. I've never really believed you'd throw away with their kind. You may be certain that I'll testify on your behalf. On my behalf? You mean to expect me to stay here as a prisoner till I come to trial? Of course! You've done nothing wrong. It's your chance to clear yourself. Can't do it. Alright, so we can see what else. If you're not a criminal, why hide your identity? I like that line. Say it so. It isn't so. It never happened. That Weasley Wallcrawler didn't get away again. If so, smash. Probably would have started it just to take the heat off him, but he wouldn't have escaped if I had been there. Is that so? How would you have managed to stop it? Because I'm smarter than he is. That's how. So we got some cool shit here. We got some cool shit to play with here. Now, what's interesting here is when we go into our next class, we'll have the Mysterio issues. And we really can't take much from these because these were used in Spider-Man Far From Home. When he was battling Mysterio, they used all that in that really badass scene where Mysterio's fucking with Peter and he's in the amusement park and the Iron Man fucking zombie. But there might be side quests here when it shows the supporting characters. So we're not just going to completely skip these issues. We'll save these for the next class when we figure out what to do with Peter now that he's... Peter. We're leaving Peter here on the dock getting shot up full of fucking holes. And it's going to be fucking glorious. We'll save that for the next class. May fate and fate decide your fortune. If you like my class, buy the textbooks. Or better yet, contribute to the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. Unfortunately, I was at pisses me off. Peace, love, and war.